Today we're comparing two of the newest, more affordable tablets on the market from Xiaomi or Redmi and Lenovo. So which one is the better option? Well, let's talk about it. The Redmi Pad 2 is about $200 versus $279 for the IdeaTab Pro as of this video. Both of these tablets start with 128 gigabytes of storage. There's also a 256 gigabyte version as well. Lenovo has the advantage starting with 8 gigabytes of RAM, where the Redmi Pad 2 has 4, 6, or 8 gigabyte options. Both of these tablets can also use a micro SD card to expand the storage as well. Build quality is actually pretty nice on both of these, especially considering the price. Each tablet has an IPS LCD display. As you can see, the IdeaTab Pro is a little larger at 12.7 inches versus 11 inches on the Redmi Pad 2. You've got 2944 by 1840 resolution on Lenovo versus 2560 by 1600 for the Redmi Pad 2, up to 90 Hz refresh rate on the Redmi Pad versus 144 Hz for Lenovo. Besides the obvious size difference, I think screen quality and viewing angles are pretty similar between these two. I feel like the colors on Lenovo are a little bit more vibrant, but I think the quality is probably a little better than you would expect for the price, so I don't think you can go wrong with either one. Now, one advantage for the Redmi Pad 2 is when it comes to battery life. We're talking about 9 hours for the Redmi Pad 2 versus 6.5 hours for Lenovo. When I ran my typical battery drain test at 100% screen brightness, Lenovo also has the advantage for charging at 45 watts versus 18 watts for the Redmi Pad 2. So plenty of battery life to last a couple days with mixed use, even longer if you turn the screen brightness down. But if you want the tablet with better battery life, you'll want to go with the Redmi Pad 2. Now, software-wise, there are some similarities since both of these are on Android, but definitely some differences. You've got the Google Entertainment Space left of the home screen for Lenovo versus the Google Discover newsfeed on the Redmi Pad 2. One advantage with Lenovo is you've got PC mode, which is kind of like Samsung DeX if you want to be a little more productive. You can also do floating windows and split screen on both tablets as well. You've also got the taskbar down at the bottom, which makes it a little easier to switch between apps on Lenovo. Another advantage for Lenovo is you have video out, which I think all tablets should have. It's just easier to use an HDMI adapter to connect to a TV, projector, or external monitor. One advantage with Lenovo is you've got a fingerprint scanner right on the power button, where you don't have any fingerprint scanner on the Redmi Pad 2. One other advantage with Lenovo is it comes with the Tab Pen Plus, and it actually works pretty good. Feels pretty similar to an Apple Pencil. Definitely a nice way to draw, take notes, or just move around the software. You can also use the Redmi Smart Pen with the Redmi Pad 2. Unfortunately, it wasn't included with mine. Lenovo launched with Android 14 versus Android 15 for the Redmi Pad 2. Lenovo's actually been updated to Android 15 already, but personally, I feel like it should have already had Android 15 when it was launched. I believe you get 2 years major software updates for Lenovo with 4 years security updates versus at least 2 major software updates for the Redmi Pad 2. But from what I've seen, the Redmi Pad 2 is supposed to get 7 years of security updates, which is really good considering the price. Performance-wise, you've got the MediaTek Dimensity 8300 in the IdeaTab Pro versus a MediaTek Helio G100 Ultra in the Redmi Pad 2. I do have the 8 gigabytes of RAM version for both of these, but when you compare the benchmark results, it's pretty one-sided, having about twice the power of the Redmi Pad 2. I do think gaming is a little bit easier on the Redmi Pad 2. It's just a little easier to reach things on the screen, but you can do gaming on both of these. I know when playing Asphalt Legends Unite and PUBG Mobile, both of these were fairly smooth, but if you want the tablet that's more powerful, it's a pretty easy win for Lenovo. Now, one advantage for the Redmi Pad 2 is it has a headphone jack where you don't get that with Lenovo. Both tablets have a quad speaker setup and they're pretty nice and loud overall. I think Lenovo has the slight edge on sound quality, but here's a quick sample of each just to give you an idea of how they sound. Fade to gray, but I've known you too long. It hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. Now, cameras on these two tablets aren't going to be the best out there, but with Lenovo, you can go up to 4K resolution for video recording versus 1080p on the Redmi Pad 2. Lenovo also has a little higher resolution, 13 megapixel on the back versus 8 megapixel for the Redmi Pad, and then 8 megapixel on the front of Lenovo versus 5 megapixels for the Redmi Pad 2. Here's a quick sample of each just to give you an idea of how they compare. I think anyone on a tight budget has a couple good options here, but I might lean towards Lenovo, mainly because the better performance and the larger display. Plus, you've got the pen included as well. I think the Redmi Pad 2 might be good for some people. Of course, a lot of this is going to come down to personal preference. If you like tablets, phones, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on as usual, so keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.